Greetings, fellow gamers. LMS Alucard here with Ambivalent Gaming, and welcome to episode 6 of What Would Alucard Do? Here we discuss loadouts, strategies, philosophies, and so on when playing various games, but primarily focused on Destiny 2. Before we get going, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you stay up to date on our content. Today we'll be discussing how I tend to approach Grandmaster Nightfalls. Considering I mostly run these with a fire team of Ambivalent members, this is more of a what would Ambivalent do. Disclaimer, information here is meant to help those within a fire team and not specific to solos. I may have a video down the line that discusses this as I get more solo completions. Ultimately, how well you do depends on your fire team. Keep in mind this is what we tend to do and may not necessarily be the best or fit with your playstyle. All that said, let's get going. When it comes to running Grandmaster Nightfalls, your loadout and abilities mean everything. You must be prepared for every room, every ad, every encounter. So let's start with weapon loadout. As a fire team, you must make sure you have all champions covered. While each person can run both required mods and maybe slip in a third if the Nightfall has all three, I generally recommend one person runs both and the other two run one each. This allows the fire team to choose weapons in certain slots that can assist far better with ad control, boss damage, defense, and so on. For example, weapons such as Would Alucard, Subclasses, and the Monarch are highly effective and can have multiple uses. Would Alucard is great at killing ads and with proper shots can be used to do boss damage while you are under safe cover. Subclasses melts most enemies and has a sniping feature for high damage, and of course it's a ranged attack. The Monarch is a god level weapon at handling overload champions and can help clear groups of ads. Check your equipment and maximize. And of course, don't forget about blinding grenade launchers. Highly effective. Next, we look at armor. This is fairly simple compared to the weapons. Clearly, you want your exotic choice to play heavily into either your subclass or your weapons, whichever works best. For example, I tend to run a sword, so I will run Stronghold, which has allowed me to res people when it would otherwise be impossible, among other things that I can do with it. Beyond that, you need to optimize damage and defense. As per usual, run your ammo finders and scavengers. Each Nightfall may call for different resistance mods. For example, if there's a lot of snipers, use sniper resistance. Lots of fire, use solar resistance. Mods such as Protective Light are also quite useful at helping with your survival within these. Keep in mind that a Warmind build does not typically work well unless either you're getting the vast majority of the kills or the whole fire team is running it. It is generally recommended you run charged light builds. Make sure your armor is maxed to work, if it's possible, so that you can maximize your stats. Moving on to subclasses. Just like everything else, this entirely depends on the Nightfall. For example, I usually run Bottom Tree Solar Titan, maybe Stasis, such as in Glassway, when ad control or clearing is needed. When the boss damage is of the highest priority, such as in Warden, I used Thunder Crash. Or, like in Lake of Shadows, I will run Bubble. Oftentimes, supers are more meant for oh shit moments, especially when using Stasis to lock down an area. Your active and passive abilities can play a huge role as well. For example, if I know a spawn point where many ads are going to come out, as a Bottom Tree Solar Titan, I can create a sunspot there and top it off with a Would Alucard. Bleak Watcher from Warlocks are highly common and great at keeping enemies back so that you can focus on others. Invis Hunters can add that extra time to live and reposition. There are many possibilities and combinations. Find what works for the Nightfall and within your fire team. Finally, let's look at approach. Going in guns blazing tends to be a bad thing here, though sometimes taking too long also creates a problem. If you find yourself wiping, especially at the same spot over and over again, identify the problem and create a solution. For example, if you keep getting overwhelmed by ads, maybe you need to pop a super. Use a different super or ability maybe change up weapons, or find a different position. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Do not fall into that pit. Make a change if needed. If you are having a hard time with even reaching an area, try playing on Master and see if you can identify a different strategy. Oftentimes, if you are wiping a lot, you are making things more complicated than they need to be. Sit back, take a breath, and look over the issue. The bottom line here, you must work as a team. That'll do it for us today. How do you run your Grandmaster Nightfalls? Feel free to drop a comment below and be sure to check us out on Twitch. We have folks that stream regularly, providing you with fresh content daily. Links in the description below. And until next time, game on, brethren.